Fantastic. Eli tervetuloa kaikille tämänpäiväiseen NordicHub-webinaariin, jossa tutustumme tarkemmin Ruotsin puuklusteritoimintaan ja siellä tähän Skellefteån Träinnovationsklustretiin ja kansalliseen Föreningen Trästad Sverige. Ni är alltså alla hjärtligt välkomna med till dagens NordicHub-webinarium där fokus sätts på Träinnovationsklustret i Skellefteå och samt då Föreningen Trästad Sverige. So you're all warmly welcome to this NordicHub webinar today about the Wood Innovation Cluster in Skellefteå and Wood City, Sweden. Koska webinaari järjestetään englanniksi, niin tulee myös itse pääsääntöisesti käyttämään englantia. Jos teillä on kuitenkin joku kysymys, jonka esitätte mieluummin suomeksi, niin voitte ilman muuta tehdä sen ja käännä sitten kysymyksen englanniksi. Eftersom webbinariet går på engelska idag, så kommer jag även att i huvudsak tala engelska själv. Men om ni har en fråga som ni gärna skulle ställa på svenska så får ni absolut göra det. So, now we'll switch to English. My name is Lauri Laaksonen. I work as the marketing and communication specialist, as well as the NordicHub manager at the Expo here in Finland. With me from the Expo is our senior advisor, Minna Jakobsson. As we have people working with or in clusters, as well as those interested in the subject, I want to take this chance to briefly tell you about NordicHub. NordicHub is coordinated by the Expo, and it has two main functions. It is first of all a platform for Finnish cluster activity and its development. Our goal is to highlight and connect Finnish clusters and to increase information exchange so that not only cluster actors, but also decision makers and the broader audience's awareness and knowledge about clusters and cluster activity increases. Secondly, NordicHub is a bridge builder, a network that aims to connect Finnish clusters with Nordic clusters and to enhance cooperation between the countries. This work is done in tight collaboration with our Nordic partners, and the goal is also to eventually start joint projects together and introduce these kind of new overall solutions utilizing modern and proactive ecosystems thinking. Serving, I think, both of these purposes, I am thrilled about today's webinar, which I am sure will be of great importance for actors in the wood industry and the cluster field, as well as for everyone interested in these subjects. First, we have Britt-Inger Brisadottir who works as the business development manager at Skellefteå municipality, tell us about the wood innovation cluster in Skellefteå. After her, representatives of different cluster members will tell us about their activities and role in the cluster. With us are Bror Sundqvist, program director at Wood Center North at Luleå University of Technology, Lena Durge, operation manager at Wood Industry North, and Rickard Falkman, site manager at RISE Skellefteå. Moreover, Lars Oskarsson, who works with project planning construction at the company Lindbäcks Bygg, shares their experiences. And finally, we have Jessica Becker, operating manager at Wood City, Sweden, who will talk about their operations. So I think today's webinar will surely provide inspiring insights on cluster activity, how it can be organized, and the benefits that can be achieved both in the wood industry as well as more generally. Moreover, I find this event to be a great opportunity for you all to network. People not only from Finland, but also from Sweden and other countries in Europe have registered to this webinar. So please use this opportunity to connect with each other. You can, for instance, share your LinkedIn profiles or websites in the chat. And before I give the stage to the stars of the day, I would like to remind you also that during the session, you can ask questions in the chat, and please keep your microphones and cameras off during the event. And as said, the event is being recorded. Please, Britt-Inger, the stage is yours.
So thank you so much, Lauri. And you all are very welcome to this Teams meeting webinar, where we from Wood Innovation Cluster, Lindbäcks and Wood Sweden will present our activities and areas of strength to promote sustainable construction in wood. My name is Britt-Inger Brisadottir, and I work as Skellefteå municipality as business development manager for sustainable wood construction and coordinate the wood innovation cluster. Skellefteå municipality has a timber construction strategy since 2014, and now we are working on a review which will become a program sustainable construction in wood in their overall sustainability strategy. My role is to convert the strategy into operational business development to spread knowledge. The Wood Innovation Cluster is the spearhead that brings together our historical knowledge for today high-tech expertise in the wood industry, a wide range of companies leading wood technology research, future education, and advanced testing activities coexist here. We show how wood can be transformed in innovative ways and encourage the public sector, Skellefteå municipality, to become a better customer. The cluster was formed 2018 and brings together the strongest actors that contribute the regional growth in the wood industry under one umbrella. And we have a groundbreaking collaboration to highlight all possibilities with wood. And here wood has a given place in the development of the region. Here you can see our matrix platform. We have clear roles. And when I include also coordinate and support in project and process in the municipality. And these operation areas, we have restricted about 1.5 to 2.5 million Swedish crown in form of guest nets in the to Skellefteå. I will also mention Wooden Unity, which foundation was founded in 1995, which purpose is to support research, development and education at the campus område area. And
I think we have some issues with your connection because the voice the voice disappears, and your video is also and now we perhaps lost them. Has to be some issues with the connection. Let's see if they are able to get back in. Meanwhile, I would like to ask, I saw that someone was able to use the chat to say that voice disappears. Is there someone who does not see the chat, for whom the chat is not working?
Sorry, I still have the problem. I can't.
You still have the problem because we have some who have used the chat here, so
I can see it.
Yeah, it's good. It seems that the chat is working for most of you. And I think we had the speakers, I think they lost their connection. As you might have noticed, they had some issues with the sound, and the video also froze, but and now they are presumably trying to get back in. So let's hope they can solve the problems that they have there. Let's see. I try to contact Britinger and the rest of them. Let's see if they have. Otherwise, let's wait 1 or 2 minutes, and then if not, I think if you then Lars can take over and hold your presentation, and then we go back to listening to Britinger and the rest of the people there.
Can you hear me, Lauri?
Yes, I can hear you, Lars. Okay, perhaps it's best that we continue with Lars, and then we go back to Britt Inger when they... now they are back. Back in business. Fantastic. Perhaps it's best, Britt Inger and Bror, and you there, if you put the video off, so it doesn't...
Yeah, we have talked about that. I can send the 3 videos after
Yes.
the web, so you can...
Fantastic. And then if I may just quickly, we have Helena on the line. Helena, if you please could turn your video off so we don't have too much on the video line. And I think, Lars, we continue now with Bror and Britt Inger from, and then you...
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, because we were just thinking of continuing with Lars, but you came right on time back online. Great.
Sorry for...
reloading the file, so we'll shortly be able to restart. Didn't like videos, apparently.
Apparently not.
Something today.
But we have earlier tested the video, so
They will need to remember it next time.
yeah.
So if you want to do videos, then you need real experts, not amateurs.
You are not an amateur.
In this case, yes.
Yeah.
I think we will be there quite soon.
So...
So, okay.
So sorry, but I will send you the file from the...
Yes, the materials will be shared afterwards. Please.
Yeah, then I go to the last slides I have. So, and thank you for your attention. And here you have my contacts details. If you want to have any further question, you can send me an email or so. But in the Wood Innovation Cluster, we value networking and exchange experience. And then I will leave over to Bror.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for staying in the meeting despite our problems here, but we will try to restart and have a better pace and skip the videos so we don't get in this trouble again. My name is Bror Sundqvist. I work here at the Luleå University of Technology, and I will talk a little about this innovation and research that we do, and it's basically around processing of timber and trying to promote new materials and also to enhance materials for wood buildings. To begin with, I would like to orient you to Luleå University of Technology. Just some short numbers. It's a little less more than 50 years old, mid-size university in Sweden. The main campus is situated in Luleå, and there's also 4 other campuses. And in Skellefteå, we have our wood focus, you could say. So I will go through 3 entities today, you could say. It's Wood Science and Engineering, which is the research department at LTU. Wood Center North, which I run as a cluster manager, is a cluster working together with industry, both sawmills and wood builders. City Wood is a research program designated for newest technology of scanning of wood and mainly around X-ray scanning. I will come back to that a little more. So the university, a little less than 20,000 students, a little less than 2,000 employees. To begin with, if I try to summarize what we do in a little larger packages, the raw material supply and the quality of it is quite concern of us. We're trying to from not from the forest management, but what the timber they harvest, what type of properties does it have? So we have a lot of common projects with Agriculture University and Skogforsk in Sweden to try to build this information flow. What does the harvester say, and what can we see in the sawmill with their type of measurements to find out what product is best for what type of when you use the certain type of stand or maybe down to even tree level in the future. And why is this so important? You can, if you find this trace back to the forest and you know which stand is suitable for certain products, you can get a better yield, you can get a better profit from the use of forest assets. It can also be used to look at these responsibilities we have to only use seriously managed wood forest stands. So for PFC and FSC certification, you can enhance this responsible tracing back to the right type of forest management. So this is important for us. And it's a lot about logistics and transports, of course, also. You want the right log ending up at the right sawmill also in the future. And of course, this is a way also to look at economy and also sustainability. If you want to use forest in the future, you need to be more and more aware of where you cut it and in which way the forest management also is done. This is one of the main core activities we have in Luleå University of Technology here in Skellefteå. It's basically since 35 years ago the world leading around X-ray technology for scanning of wood, and it's now introduced since 5 years ago into sawmills all around in Scandinavia to better look inside the logs, to really get the feeling what type of features do you have inside the log. And as you see here, this is a simulated picture with a log, and also how you trying to, before you saw, to decide what type of planks and boards can you get from these logs. And the neat thing about this is that research is trying to now to look at do the strength grading before you saw it. Before you have these actual planks, you decided the strength and maybe also the appearance and then the look of it. If it's supposed to go to fine joinery, or if it's going to construction material, for instance. So this is a very, very important thing for us. And it's a lot of imaging around machine learning and artificial intelligence. And this is a field that is progressing quite rapidly now. And of course, also we can combine this with other type of equipment, so we can look at the drying. So we have drying modules linked to this X-ray CT scanning modules. And we can also look at other types of properties while we are scanning this with X-rays. So we can get videos and other types of methods to look at new ways of using wood. We have also, for instance, a lot of projects around how you can make the more efficient way of sawing. So we have introduced, and it's now in place in a sawmill south of here from near Umeå, where they have introduced thinner saw blades. So they are much more efficient in sawing this, and the waste in form of sawdust is minimized. And of course, we're looking at more new type of platforms for using information, especially the sawmill ground. So 5G is now tested and introduced in one of our members to trying to deal with all this digital information that is around the sawmill. So it's becoming more and more a digital world the operation for running sawmills, for instance. So this type of efforts we're trying to do, we have then started this since 2020 City Wood Research Program, and it's focused on very much to research and PhD students to really to develop the new tools, the new methods, the new way to process wood in the best way, to address the global challenges, and also to find the next generation raw material supply chain for the industrial wood building. So it's a lot of effort on this, and we think it's very important to be a part of the chain when you use the forest assets in the most optimized way and sustainable way. Of course, education is a key element to take on this new method, this new technology. So we have different types of master programs, and this is on top programs. So they often come from other programs with a bachelor to begin with, and make the last years here in Skellefteå combined with other courses. We also have, of course, professional education for wood technology, and this is short courses, mainly digital courses that is adapted mostly for industry to attend. 80 hours is the approximate time you need to do these courses. So we think this is also has to be in parallel with all the other development, that also there is possible to gain new knowledge and educate yourself. When you come to wood building, industrial wood building, we think the technical properties and safety aspects is quite important. And we have seen by many projects and reports that we have produced that it has its benefits quite clearly. So we have done some years ago the EPD, Environmental Protocol Declaration for Swedish lumber, and it looks really good if you compare to other type of building materials. So yes, it's a good way to use as a carbon sink in industrial wood, industrial building overall. We think that the hybrid solution for buildings with different materials is the right way to go. You can also look at the climate impact from industrially produced multi-dwelling wooden houses, and it's also has its quite advantages if you look at a traditional building. Also, the productivity of using industrial wood construction compared to traditional construction methods is also advantageous. You can see that it's roughly 30% better productivity to introduce industrial wood building into traditional building. When you look at the technical properties and safety aspects, here we put a lot of projects and efforts to enhance these different types of properties and issues. So we're trying to get a safe and smart construction for the future. So it's, of course, it's a lot about fire safety, and then it's some of the projects is wood for wood outdoors, and some projects is about indoor fire research. It has some different features there for solving problems and addressing future properties. Also, of course, sound insulation and acoustics is an important part, and we have done a lot of projects around that. And we had report from acoustic projects yesterday, actually, in the Wood Center North cluster, which has clear solutions to how to build with CLT, cross-laminated timber, to get the best results for low sound propagation. Of course, a lot of projects, is around moisture, and it's all the way from transport, control of the material, and also to have sensors and monitoring of buildings, what happens with the moisture. And of course, it's linked to what can happen with mold and fungi and different types of microbes that can attack the wood. We have also had a lot of projects around how to improve the construction stability, because wooden buildings has different properties compared to concrete and steel. So you need new algorithms and new methods to calculate the components and the constructions. We have built up also a microbiology lab here in Skellefteå about microbes. So we both do indoors measurements and on wood surfaces outdoors to map and to learn more about how this ecosystems works in relation to wood. Because we think that's also a key element in the future when we more and more tends to stay indoors and are more affected by the indoor environment. This is a project that is running on Skellefteå Hospital at the orthopedic ward, where we try to look at the health effects of wood. And this project has done some parts of it. The indoor environment is measured, and the clinical trials will be finished later this year. So and the third part of this has been this product development and design. You could see in the background the cross-laminated panels that is in behind, made of pine in these orthopedic patient rooms. So we're trying to combine these measurements and data now, and we can see some results, but we're waiting for the clinical trials to make a little bit more conclusive analysis of what this project gives. So maybe in the future we can hope that we can build up around wood and health a competence center and see how does this relate and what do we need to new methods and new knowledge to address this, because it's a very complex situation. Thank you. That was my speech. My contact information if needed for someone wants to reach out. Thank you.
So, hello, my name is Lena Drugge, and I'm the operational manager for Wood Industry North Limited. And today I'm kind of going to focus more on the interior solution for industrial construction. I will also give you an overview what this Wood Industry North is cover. Totally, you see a map over Västerbotten, the region here, and all the companies are situated in all the 15 municipalities in this area, from coast to mountains. So in total, we have 110 enterprises, and they cover the entire chain from raw material to wood processing. So you have seen the map, and the companies is 110. And if we take from those 110 companies, 80% of them is small business companies, small to medium-sized business companies. So they have around 25 employees. They are in total, for all the 110 companies, you have 2,500 people employed, and about 20% women. Here you can see where they are situated, the companies. It's another view of the map. So they are spread all over the region. So how is the Wood Industry North business run? Well, we are driven strategically, and the industry and are industry orientated, and we provide support for both business development and collaboration models for the companies, because they are small, so we can give them development through us, with the aim to providing growth in the broadest sense. So go further. The business concept is to be an innovative partner for collaboration and development of the wood industry, and of course to strengthen business development for the wood industry. And this company is owned by the wood industry themselves, just for these purpose. And here you can see our focus area, the trademark. Yes, what does it mean? Well, we have to value our trademark to being seen, and I help them with marketing and other, like this, telling about us and so on. But mostly the business development. But we are also in competence issues and education, to see that the wood industry have the right educations for running the operational production. I give you the orientations for the wood industries. We have 41 of these 110 companies. We have 41 companies that are sawmills, planing mills, etc., wooden floors and pallets. And that's one orientation. And then we have the houses, cottage, wood beams, outdoor structure, and other buildings, and interior carpentry. Of course, there are 22 companies, a little bit less, and door, windows, stair, and kitchen, and other buildings, and interior carpentry. 41 companies is doing that. Something happened here on my screen, but I hope you can see it. If you don't, I want you to raise a hand. Okay. And for furniture, we have 6 companies. So that's the wood industry orientation in Västerbotten. And I will show you some examples from products that they are making to give you some inspiration. This is interior furniture and the wood cottage, but also the stairs. They make this interior solution for buildings. And of course, this is one of the largest. They make windows and doors and all those things that need to be in a building, free building. Why do I show you this? Yes, because I take my last picture. If you want to have contact with these companies, I'm the business competence, and I can help you further to get in contact with the companies in Västerbotten, because we are this umbrella organization, and I'm the contact in and help you solve. Thank you for me.
Jag filmar. Nej.
Nej, jag vet. Det var precis.
Yes. As you all know, Skellefteå is the town who want to take the position as be the center of the green transition. And I'm working at the RISE, and we also want to take
the position to be the Sustainable Research Institute that works with this. My name is Rickard Falkman. I'm the site manager and also the director of wood building technology and the interim manager of production and materials at RISE in Skellefteå. And my topic today is ensure business competitiveness and contribute to a sustainable society. And I want to show you a little bit what RISE is doing and also what we are doing with the wood and wood products. So I will fly in. And I saw that I have one slide also that is a little bit about maybe Jessica will talk about that later on. For you who don't know about RISE, RISE is the fourth biggest institute in Europe. We are 3,000 employees located in 35 sites. And the unique part with us is that we have a lot of test and demonstration labs. And then the biggest office we have is in Borås in the south of Sweden, where we have a lot of test equipment. And in Skellefteå also we have a lot of test equipment mainly for wood and climate tests on that. We're not focused so much about that. As I said, RISE want to take the lead position in creating a sustainable society and drive the transition. And to do that, we are organized in a way that we can support the society in all parts. Not only in wood, but also in digital systems and bioeconomy and health. We talk about different kind of material that is not affecting the environment, and also the safe transportation. And also, if you're talking about electrical transportation, we have a lab equipment in Gothenburg where we test lab self-driving vehicles also. But we will focus mainly on the built environment, which is the division that I belong to. And the built division is working with society's questions quite a lot. And also we have the municipalities in different kind of ways. So we are a supporting organization who can contribute with a lot of activities to drive this transition. So Sweden can become the welfare state that is fossil free. In 2045, I think it is, if I don't remember wrong. This is some kind of examples that RISE is working with at the moment. In Skellefteå, I have made them a little bit bold. We have an activity that is started, which is organized by Luleå Technical University, which is called the Arctic Center of Energy, which will be a center where we focus on latest energy questions and activities and research. We are also a part of the Swedish climate contract called Viable Cities, where Skellefteå and the Umeå municipalities is part of that. And the picture that you can see there is where we have additive manufacturing. So it's active 3D printing, the 3D printing a bio-based component. We are not 100% using bio-based materials yet, but we are aiming for it shortly. So this is a wild example of what the RISE is working with from the north of Sweden to the south of Sweden. If we go down to what we locally are doing, and we are not only working with this locally, we are working with wood questions in the entire Sweden. Also, we want to support the industry like we do in the cluster. We are supporting the business in a good way, and we do it together, and we do it in a cooperation way with a lot of activities to support them with the technical experts and also the tests they want to do. If you're looking at the structures, which is quite important when we're talking about building system, don't know if Lars is going to talk about it, but Lars, you're in the left corner of this with building volumes at Lindbäcks, and you're high productivity. So I just wanted to show what kind of building system we have in Sweden when we're talking about wood building with wood framework. So this is the tree system that we're talking about in Sweden. I will not go into detail, but just that you are familiar with it. So if you have any questions about it, we can talk about it later, and maybe can take it in detail later on also. But if you're looking at the culture house in Skellefteå, it's a combination of all structures, so to say. The hotel is volume based, and the framework is pillars and posts and beams and all that stuff. The business of multi-storage houses has increased quite a lot the latest years. When Sweden joined the European Union in 1995, we were allowed to build higher than 2.5 floors, and now we are, as you know, in Skellefteå, we have a hotel that is 20 stories high. So the business is increasing quite a lot, and a lot of things we can thank the research, the technical aspects. We have solved a lot of issues, but we need to continue doing it with the fire and acoustics and the moisture. And also we can thank Lindbäcks Bygg for their prefabricating volumes, which has increased the production time, reduced the production time also. But what we also see is that the building sector today, the total building sector, is quite a big contributor to the CO2 emissions. And by using wood, as Blue said, we store CO2 during the lifetime of the building, which is quite good also. So the climate declaration that arrived in Sweden 2022 will hopefully also increase this expand on wooden buildings. But we still need to do a lot of research, and that's why we need Luleå University, Technology University, and RISE, and we also need the local partners to develop this. And we also need to think about using wood in a better way, and not only like we have in Sweden. We have a linear flow. We need to make it more circular and think about it in the early stages. I will show you some of the examples that we are working with, but we are quite focused on this. And to do that, we need to be working together, cooperation with the business, and Sweden is also an important communicator to work with this, to explore this further away. And we need to test and verify if we can circulate the building that we are building today. We can circulate it tomorrow. This is some activities we are working quite heavily with. If we're starting from the sawmills, we at RISE is also working with the forest, but a little bit other issues. This is where we find defects in the sawmills. This you can also use this in the harvester out in the forest to detect defects on the log. So you perhaps maybe in the future you can, if they have a defect, you can maybe leave it in the forest. So then you can improve the biodiversity. But in this case, we don't want to saw this. I don't know if you see it, but it's a defect in the top of the corner. It's a defect that is affecting the log. So we will not saw it. We'll throw it away. So it's better to take it away before you saw it. So we're working with deep learning and use the modern techniques to optimize the process in the sawmills. So the project that Jessica Becker has also participated in, and RISE has been a part of that, and also Arbio and Swedish Wood. And so it's a quite nice product just to show. The project has ended, and I just wanted to show you that you don't have to torn down all the buildings that are built in concrete and replace it with wood. You can build timber light construction on top of a build. In Umeå, for instance, in the top it's a marketplace in the center of the town. Have built nice apartments on top of it. Umeå is quite nice town also with a lot of on top buildings. So this is something that you can use. Yeah, we ska ha dem. Okay. This is also something that we're working on. We don't want to focus only on the wood in wood buildings. We can also have it in wind turbine towers. This is a project we are running together with a company called Movion that started this journey in 2015, and now hopefully we are doing some trials, and hopefully by Q3 we will have the first 100-meter wind tower placed in Varberg in west-south Sweden. That is 100 meter high. So we are aiming for this one, and it's really nice to do that. So we are hoping that it can be a good business also to use wood in other applications. And as you see, this store quite a lot of carbon CO2 also, if we are managing to do it. But so far, everything looks really, really good. And just to end my presentation, we have also worked with to make the wood value chain a little bit more closer, together with Lindbäcks Bygg also to design for the future. But this, and also the municipality of Skellefteå is part of that meeting, and the team is there is also part of this. And here we want to find a good way so we can replace or move a building if it's needed in the future. So if it's a kinder school or preschool or something, you don't, maybe you want to move it from somewhere else, you should try to design the house and build it so you can easily reuse it somewhere else instead of putting it like ships and end up in the power plants. So this is something that we're working on. We think it can be a really good case of working with the building volumes, because then we have a high value instead of using planks and all that that ends up in the municipalities junkyard. That can be a little bit hard, so to say, but this is something that I think can be quite nice to know about. The project will end this year, so hopefully the presentation will be available maybe next time, so we can talk more about it, what the obstacles are, and also find other possibilities to start reusing timber buildings in a circular way. So this is some activities that RISE is doing in Skellefteå. So thank you. I think that was all of mine. Should we go?
Should we take some questions maybe?
I see what Lauri.
Yes, thank you all there for your presentations. I think we get a nice view of different types of actors in the cluster and what you contribute to and how the collaboration actually happens. I think we will take the questions in the end, because so that we get the presentations through, and then we have reserved time in the end for questions. So I would like to thank you and give the stage to Lars. And there was someone who asked in the chat about if these presentations will be shared. Yes, they will be shared afterwards per mail. So yes. But yeah, Lars, please share. You can share your presentation and start whenever you're ready.
So can you hear me? Start with that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Very good. And here we have, you can see the Lindbäcks.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes.
So we'll start here. Thank you, Rickard, to mention our company in your presentation. And Lindbäcks Bygg is located in between Luleå and Skellefteå, and the sun is always shining here, so you know that. And we have the mission, what if we could build houses in the same way that the automotive industry produce cars? That's a thing that we have built up. And we build industrial because we believe in creating a home for more people. And here I have a movie. Hopefully you're gonna hear the sound. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Henrik, and this is our factory. We are an industrial building company using wood from the northern forest, creating apartment buildings in Europe's most modern production facility. In a weather-protected environment, the volumes are built step by step along our preparation station and our main production line. Our building system can fill many different needs. We build everything from student housing, rent-controlled apartments, to condominiums and retirement homes. We offer a full service solution where we take responsibility for the entire process. This means security in terms of price, product and delivery times. Along the wall line, the exterior walls are put together. Here, we assemble windows, bolt, insulate and paint. When the wall is ready, it proceeds to the main production line for assembling. In parallel, the partitions are built and roofed. Just as the exterior walls, they are fully finished when they are assembled. The main production flow begins with the construction of our floor structure. Then our composite bathroom is put in place and partitions are applied, as well as exterior walls and ceilings. The main production flow begins with the construction of our floor structure. Then our composite bathroom is put in place and partitions are applied, as well as exterior walls and ceilings. When all elements are put together, we install the kitchen and apply the floor surface layers and complete with plumbing. After that, we review the volume to ensure quality. In the last step, the module is sent to the automated warehouse. Here it's collected by an autonomous robot loaded on the trucks. All that's left is delivering to the construction sites. Thanks to our industrial construction, we manage resources efficiently and build climate and cost efficient with high security. We build industrial because we believe in creating homes for more people. We build industrial because we believe in living for more. We build industrial because we believe in living for the many.
The company was started in 1924, and next year we're going to be 100 years old. And today, in the management level, we are in the fourth generation, but the fifth generation has started to work in the company. In the start, it was a sawmill that did sawing of the lumber in the wintertime and building a house in the summertime. And it continued with that for a while. And 1994, as Rick had mentioned earlier, it was when we joined the EU, it was possible to build more than 2.5 storages of the houses. So now it's possible for us to build up to 8 storages high in volume modules. And our capacity in 2 factories is about 22 volumes per day. And we can do up to 2,500 volumes a year. And from 2017 to 2023, we have threefolded our capacity. And the turnover for us this year, it will be 1.4 billion Swedish crowns. And here is a layout for the Haraholmen factory. We have the building the walls here, and here we put the volumes together that you saw on the movie. And here is the ready stock, and here is the loading of on the tracks. And very important parameters here in the factory is that we have the man, the machine, and we have the method and the material. And it's a collaboration with these things, and it's very important to take, when you do development, take care of this everything. And we do this ecological, economic, and have it in social sustainability. And to do this in a very good way, we do have it in lean production. And we have adapted our tradition that we have to build wooden house. So we call it industrial production according to Lindbäcks. And to building a house, you need to have an idea, And then to design the house, it takes about 30 weeks to design the house. And next step here is the production. It's about 4 weeks, also inside the factory. And it's a production, assembly, and then do the interior in the volume. And then we transport to the construction site. And we assemble the house. It takes about 4 weeks. And then do the completion of the house, to do the inner work, to fit every volumes together, so you do the rest of the paintings, and to do the ventilation, electrical connections that you don't have made in the factory. You need to do a completion on the construction site, and to do the facade, to have that make work in a proper way. And we do family houses, rental apartments, retirement homes, condominiums, standard housing, and some hotels too. And here we have some examples of the house that we build. Here is outside Bålsta Centrum, northern part of Stockholm. And here you see it's a combination of wooden panels in the bottom and the puts on the top. And here you see balconies that we have developed. And here we have a good help from RISE in Skellefteå to test them and calculate them. Here is from Stena Fastigheter, Stockholm. We build in wood because we believe in the nature. And we do to build with wood, we have less carbon dioxide emissions, and we have fossil-free transport by truck. And okay, we ship some of the house with ships too. And we have to have energy to our factory. We have solar panels, and you see far away in the horizon, you have this distance heating from that factory's sun pine. They develop and produce fossil-free diesel. We build ideas because we will making a difference. We aim to have the 50-50 between women and male, but it's a challenge to have it working. We put about 3% of our turnover to the research and development, and we have a big collaboration with Luleå Tekniska University in Luleå and Skellefteå, and a big collaboration with RISE in Skellefteå. And of course, the whole a lot of work have we done with RISE in Borås too. Here we have some picture from our factory at Harraholmen. Here is we have integrated the manager's offices in the factory, and here is a logistics part that we have, that we pre-pack everything, and then we are going out with it into the factory. Here we have studs that are building. We have studs when we build up the house, and here we have the train with the gypsum. That the gypsum had the possibility to protect the wooden studs from fire and create the stability in the house. it's very important to have a mixture of material to optimize it. And here we do the grind, sanding, and painting. And here is walls in our system. And here we have, you see the floor, and on the floor we have a pod. It's our bathrooms unit. It's a daughter company to us. A challenge when building this factory, the factory is actually 400 meters long. And the challenge we had, if we shouldn't have produced this kind of bathroom, the factory need to be about 600-700 meters long, because of it's a challenge to have the tiles, the drying tiles for the fix that we have behind the tiles. So that was the reason that we start that company. Here is a wall that we put around the floor. And here you see we have the insulation in between the studs. Sorry? And here you see you have a kitchen ready at the house, and parquet. The floor is ready. There's more volumes that are coming. And here is the ready stock of volumes that we handle with an automatic truck. And here we lift the volumes on a ship. And here's from the construction site where we have a crane that lifts the volume from the truck up in to the house. And here you see we put up the roof on the top. So this kind of house can be built up in about a week. We build history because we believe in the future. So thanks a lot for listening to me.
Thank you, Lars. And I think then we'll take finally Jessica, and then it's time for some questions in the end.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen here, my presentation with you. Just a minute. Do you see my full screen?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you everybody that came before me, and thank you for letting me present Wood City Sweden's work in Sweden. My name is Jessica Becker, and I'm the operating director of Wood City Sweden, and also an architect. And I've worked for the past almost 15 years with industrial built wood solutions, building solutions. But just a little bit about Wood City's purpose. Our purpose is to spread knowledge about wood building in general, but also very specifically focusing on public procurement and urban planning. And what we do is create seminars and conferences, also in collaboration with others, and also participate in collaborative projects, which I'm going to be telling you more about later on in the presentation. And we also offer support for municipalities and regions when establishing strategies for sustainable building and wood building, which is an important part of it. Let's see here. And so what are the driving forces behind this? We have the Agenda 2030. We have Also, a proposition from the government for the built environment that was implemented about 5 years ago. We also have wood building strategies and also on a national level, and we also have the goal of being fossil free 2045. We have the transition to the circular economy, the housing crisis. We also implemented a declaration, a climate footprint declaration as of last year. And we also have inflation and the raw materials crisis and so on. So Wood City's background is we're celebrating 10 years this year. It was actually started even earlier, but with the participation of, among others, Skellefteå and the region of Västerbotten and also Småland, which are very strong forest regions. And then it was founded as a non-profit organization in 2016 with the support of the Swedish government. But we also have about 60 members, ranging from municipalities, but really the whole supply chain with architects and engineers and so on. Very specific projects that we are involved in. The first is called Wood First, and I will tell you a little bit more about this later on in the presentation, but it's a digital platform to help support specifically municipalities and regions to implement strategies for sustainable building, where wood and timber structures are an important part of that. We also have another project that Rickard from RISE also mentioned called Timber on Top. And as he also mentioned, that the actual Vinnova project is completed. But this is such an important topic. So Wood City Sweden is actually going to be continuing efforts on working with Timber on Top as a topic to kind of disseminate information about it, and also to create a network where we have an exchange of knowledge and experiences in building, which is something that is highly needed to kind of increase the building of additions on top with industrialized timber solutions, prefab solutions. So I will talk a little bit about Wood First to start off. Like I said, it's a digital platform for supporting the setting up of strategies for wood building. A lot of municipalities and regions don't really have the resources to know enough about timber and timber building, since we are so used to building with concrete and steel. And so they need help in implementing these strategies to kind of increase wood building at a faster, quicker pace than we otherwise would have. And we have several municipalities or counties that have been doing this for a long time, among others, Skellefteå and Växjö, that have been doing this since the 90s and have a lot of beautiful examples, projects to show for it. But we have more than 250 other municipalities in Sweden that also need help to get kind of on board with this. So we have been showing concrete examples and helping other municipalities in this work, this effort to kind of move forward here. And so why Wood First? Well, I was kind of talking about the driving forces behind Wood City, and they're obviously similar. So we have this transition to the bio-based economy and this sustaining building strategies, and also urban development. And we have the new European Bauhaus strategy and the European Green Deal. So all of these are kind of connected. We have to kind of increase knowledge generally within wood building, but also helping public procurement and public officials in this matter. And public Public policy work and legislation is very important here. We have a lot to kind of work with nationally. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we have a forestry strategy on a national level. We have a lot of support for wood building, actually. And we also have strategies for rural development and also an export strategies, which is very important for the forest industry in Sweden. And this is kind of what has developed regionally. We have a forestry strategy that is also on a regional level, where you also, the regions kind of focus on supporting growth and development and procurement and innovation. And the municipalities have a lot of responsibility for urban planning and collaborating in innovative efforts and political support in this in strategies for wood building. And we also have developers. And so what Wood First offers is a hands-on support tool online. And it kind of dives into different areas where it starts with kind of a general knowledge. It adds to general knowledge on wood building and industrially built solutions and prefab wood building, but it also goes through strategies and regulations, the urban planning process, and public procurement, where we see that a lot of municipalities need support in this area. And the purpose of it is also to identify where the opportunities are for that specific municipality, where municipalities are very different, both in size and structure, and you have to be very specific on identifying where the largest opportunity for change is. And this is part of this is also identifying the key roles, and it's important that both politicians and public officials are on board to get the best effect. And so the kind of goal of this is to, after these workshops, digital workshops, is to kind of design a successful strategy for sustainable building, where timber is a very important part of this. And so procurement is a means to achieve this goal. Like I said, key players have to be a part of this. You have to be very concise in setting measurable requirements and goals. And this is what we can see is kind of the part of the success story of both Skellefteå and Växjö, where they've set very measurable goals. And there is actually an opportunity to set technical requirements that are relevant to environmental impact, including production impact and climate footprint in the whole life cycle analysis and life cycle perspective. And they can also refer to performance and function, traceability and origin, which are also very important to reach climate goals. And in all building projects, but even especially in those that are kind of new and with a new kind of technology, early dialogue with potential suppliers and developers is very important, and also these market players to increase the knowledge, and also to make sure that it's as successful as possible, setting the right requirements from the beginning. Because this is often a problem is deciding to build in wood or looking into building in wood later on in the process, which makes it much harder and much more expensive. So like I said, keys are early dialogue, collaboration and openness, knowledge feedback, looking at best practices and good examples so you don't kind of reinvent things all the time. An early life cycle analysis for climate impact or carbon footprint is very important to kind of catch it in an early stage. Also flexibility so that you can be open to innovative solutions, and also the digitalization process. And so these are just some screenshots from the actual digital tool that we offer. This is in Swedish, but we're actually looking at translating this to English, as we've seen that there's actually a big interest in this type of tool, even on a European level. And this is the actual workshop part where you can sit with your team and kind of design or add to the process. And all of this is saved so that you can kind of find a conclusion or get a conclusion or a summary of this and afterwards. And just quickly, I know that Rickard talked about timber on top, but like I said, the Vinnova project has ended, is completed, but we are going to be continuing to work on this. And like he's mentioned, it was a collaborative effort, but the aim was to increase knowledge about certain aspects of additions and extensions with bio-based prefabricated solutions. And the development of circular business models to include reuse and the development of existing buildings, which is a very important part of this. But we want to continue to work with this collaborative effort to kind of get the exchange of knowledge, which we see is very important to kind of continue moving forward in this with add-ons on top. So the conclusions are what we can get from this. The positive aspects are minimizing the building sector's carbon footprint by using what already has been built. And this is we can draw a parallel to the circular economy here. This is an important part of it. Also minimizing the use of virgin land. It's a way to minimize demolition of already existing buildings, which is a problem. It's a way to save money, to improve and optimize energy values of property, improving real estate value, supporting and improving social sustainability, using existing infrastructure, of course, creating new spaces, office spaces, homes, etc., getting more movement on the housing market and a more diverse urban and suburban structure. And we also have a digital platform for Timber on Top, which is kind of a quick online course to kind of increase knowledge on extensions and additions in prefab wood solutions. So this is also offered online. And I just wanted to show you to kind of end off here some examples. This is an example from Skellefteå, an addition on top. This is from Gothenburg, an office addition. Also Skellefteå, a hotel. And it doesn't necessarily have to be additions on top. It can also be interiors. So this is an old industrial structure in Malmö where they've made additions with wood on the interior, as you can see here, creating restaurants and cafes and shops. This is also another example of an interior in a barn made to be a theater. So it's very flexible to use wood and prefab solutions for this type of additions and extensions. This is also from Stockholm, a more urban environment, and from Umeå, where they did an addition on top in the city center. And just very quickly, some important aspects of timber building in Sweden. We see a lot of new types. It's not only housing. We're seeing this urban high-rise, for example, in Stockholm, as a part of the urban skyline. We have this project called Hoppet, which is a fossil-free school, which is actually completely carbon neutral. We have obviously the Sara Kulturhus in Skellefteå, which is Sweden's highest building. We're seeing a lot of commercial property where actually businesses are seeing the positive aspects in their business model to actually build commercial buildings in mass timber. As we have a grocery store here. ICA, but even Lidl has built in mass timber. We have office buildings like this one in Uppsala, and this is something that is being built, World of Volvo in Gothenburg, where they see this as a part of their image. So as we're seeing, the whole industry is changing here, and we're actually seeing the upside of the business side of timber structures as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessica, for your presentation. We're running out of time, but let's take some questions that have come in the chat. I will not take up those questions that have been answered already by some. You can check them in the chat. But for you, Jessica, I think it's easiest to take as you presented last. There is Kauko Tulla asks, does the state support wood buildings, wood construction in Sweden, and if in what ways?
Well, yes, it does. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have a strategy for wood building in Sweden. There is maybe a need for a renewal, but there is one there is a national strategy for wood building. There are also strategies connected to the forestry program, as I mentioned also earlier. So wood building is obviously a part of that, and the industry. So there are several ways that the state or the government does support this. On the one hand, on the other hand, it's a kind of a slow process. So I do believe that we could have maybe better, more maybe stricter or better policies to kind of further advance wood building in Sweden.
Okay, great. And another question to you here: what do you see are the key barriers in this industry and market? I think it's not specified in what way, what key barriers, but what if you think in general.
Well, there are barriers at different levels, I would say, and I think part of this is kind of what I was talking about was this kind of knowledge for procurement, public procurement, among other things. So I think that the municipalities and regions still need help with this. That's one of them, one of the barriers, I would say, still. Yeah.
Great. Then we had a question to Lars about in which ways Lindbäcks is working with or for the circular economy. Do we have Lars on the line? I think it also came up in the presentation later on. Perhaps this question was asked a bit before that. Seems that we don't have Lars there. But I think in the presentation materials, which we will share, if it's okay for the presenters, we will share it, and there you can see. And I think it was brought up also in the presentation. Yes, as said, a few questions already been answered in the chat. And you can look them up there. And then I would, do we have Lars? Lars?
Yeah, Lars is here.
Yes, perfect. Quick question to you. How is Lindbäcks working with or for the circular economy? I think you brought up something in your presentation already, but if you summarize it, how you work with circular economy and enhancing it.
Yeah, for the circular economy, it's like we have wooden stud in our production. So that's in that sense we store carbon dioxide, and it's another thing that we have waste in our production, and we have a program to see how we can reuse the waste, and smaller pieces of our studs are we putting in our balconies. So there we have sustainability in that process, and we're trying to reduce the stone wool. We always have some waste, and that stone wool are going to use as loose wool and have it on top on installation on houses. So we have a program to reduce the waste. That's one thing that we're working with.
Yeah, sounds really good. And I would like to ask as a final question, I don't think there was any more in the chat, but one question to regarding the, well, I think it's to all of you, but whoever may answer who has some idea. How do you see what's the role of Nordic cooperation when it comes to the wood industry and your activities now and in the future? Do you find that there is room for Nordic cooperation, for instance?
For us, we're Lindbäcks, we have tried to sell our technology to other countries, and it's one thing that it's a challenge. It's when in Sweden we have built this system since 1995, and we tried to sell it to Finland, but it's a challenge because it's a new technology to build. And in the Finnish tradition, it's a new thing. You're not used to calculate in the way we calculate. So that's a challenge. So it's then was it not possible we have built one house with our system, but the other house, the company in Finland that should use it, they get bankrupt because in the municipality, they didn't allow the calculation to be used. So that's one thing to develop.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, there was one more question we can take from Johan Ongelman to Lars. Have Lindbäcks considered to use wood-based insulation in your buildings?
Yeah, we have a collaboration with Thermex in Finland, and it's not wood-based. Okay, it's cellulose, reduced newspaper. And we have had developed a logistic system and a system to fill the loose wool on our walls. But we have it on hold, the investment, we have it on hold.
Okay.
But of course, the biggest CO2 footprint we have at our house, it's the gypsum and the stone wool. That's for sure right. And another thing that we can reduce the carbon dioxide footprint is it's the gypsum source, because LKAB is building a factory here in Luleå that's going to take care of the waste from the mines, and they're going to get 640,000 ton of gypsum, and that gypsum will be we take care of the waste. So there the carbon dioxide emission is very low. So that's a new thing that's coming up.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Diego asked if the webinar video will be accessible. Yes, we will upload it on VExpo's YouTube channel, and we will send you the link to everyone who has participated or registered. Yes, I think we have already exceeded our time limit. If there are not any more comments, I will once again thank you all the presenters, all audience, and I will share this kind of a quick poll that I wish everyone to answer. You should see on your screen this kind of overall grade that you can give this event. So please give it your grade, and then we will, Minna Jakobsson, my colleague, has also shared in the chat a link to a feedback questionnaire with just a few questions, and we would be really glad if you would take a few minutes to fill or answer to it, because it's very important so that we can keep on providing these kind of activities like these events. We will also send you the link to the feedback questionnaire per mail, but you can just click it from the chat and open it up and fill it in if you want to now. Otherwise, as I said, a big thank you to all of the presenters. Ett stort tack till våra svenska vänner där för era fina presentationer och för dessa diskussioner. Ta gärna och fyll i feedback-enkäten som vi skickat ut, och som sagt kommer en inspelning laddas upp på Viexpos YouTube-kanal där ni kan se den, och vi skickar länken till den också. Lopuksi suuri kiitos kaikille kuuntelijoille ja puhujille. Käyttäkää pari minuuttia sen palautelomakkeen täyttämiseen, ei se edes mene paria minuuttia. Se on meille todella tärkeää, joten arvostamme todella paljon, jos viitsitte sen käydä täyttämässä. Ja tosiaan tallenne tästä videosta niin ladataan Viexpo YouTube-kanavalle ja lähetetään teille sähköpostitse, eli pääsette vielä katselemaan. Yes. I wish you all a very pleasant Wednesday and a nice week. Hopefully the spring is here soon, so we get to enjoy that. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Wishing you all the best.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.